Hey everyone, so it's been a while since I've posted any TCG stuff, but that's the beauty of having your own channel is you can post whatever you like. And just the other day, I was watching the professor's video on player fatigue and collector fatigue and product fatigue, and I just wanted to sort of look into things for myself, and I think I've got a few points that I'd like to go over relating to it. So we're here on the landing page for Magic the Gathering, and let's check out what there is exactly, because I know one of his big points were the fact that they were talking about how they were listening to play feedback and product fatigue, and then they went ahead and posted back-to-back articles about 3 new sets. Okay, latest products. So this was the first big discrepancy I sort of wanted to look at. We've got Phyrexia, Brothers War, Unfinity, Dominaria United, and Double Masters. So first off, this isn't just standard sets, because obviously it has Unfinity and Double Masters, but what you might notice is it's missing Dominaria Remastered, and I feel like there's one more set that's meant to go in between the two of these. You know what, let me grab up Mana Box, because the big argument I want to talk about is if we take a look at the dates. So we've got February, November, October, September, July, sorry. So already this is basically one every 2 to 3 months. More like 1 to 2, especially with this block. And if we take a look at the actual set list that's come out, we've got Phyrexia. And then before that, we have Dominaria Remastered in January. So that's already 1 month to 1 month. We had Jumpstart, that's the product I'm thinking of. So we had Jumpstart 2022 in December. So right there, that's a complete block of one product line every month. And that is generally the theme that they've been running with. And the previous year, I think it was 8 out of 12. So was at 2 out of 3. So every third month, we don't get a product, which is an awful, awful way to think about it. That every third month, we don't get a product. Not every third month we get a product. Every third month, we don't have a product to break down, look at, buy into, and collect. And a large thing for me is originally, since they moved to this over-the-top methodology of just printing everything to death, I was just going to jump into all the Masters products. That's where my interest was. I picked up Double Masters last year. I am probably going to just clean my hands completely. So I've already been cutting back. So again, I don't participate in any of the standard sets anymore. All the specialty products, I don't. Master sets, because it's a master set, it usually has the higher collectability, because that's the main aspect of it in which I view it as a hobby. But I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna say no more. Articles, that's what I want to look at. Where's the little link to all their articles? News, there we go, right up the top. I want to take a look at the 3 articles of March the Machine. No, we need to filter. Is there more? There it's perfect. March the Machine, the Commander Masters set, and of course the Lord of the Rings set. So if we swap category to announcements. So we have Commander Masters, August 4th. Lord of the Rings, June 23rd. So that's 1 month in between. And then March the Machine, which I believe is end of March, right? Maybe May. Anyway, we'll open all 3 up. And this is the big issue. So this was announced February 19th. Straight away, 2 days later, we get the Lord of the Rings announcement. And then we get Commander Masters. And even the spoiler seasons, if we scroll all the way down. So first look, May 16th. Ooh, that's not what I meant to open. Not printing. March 14th as well. Debate May 30th. There's just so much overlap between the sets that I don't understand how they can think this is a good model for marketing, let alone actual production. So anyone who's looking to buy Magic this year is bombarded with these 3 sets to break down and then to almost manage and watch all at the same time, because anyone who's going to be talking about Magic is going to be talking about all 3 products and their lines, and it's got to be overwhelming. Like, this is just the mental fatigue that the professor. If you don't know, I mean, if you're watching this, you probably know who the professor is over at Valerian Academy. This is the mental fatigue that is really weighing down on anyone. And there's 2 main things I want to talk about. First off is the product line, and then the actual rarities of the cards. And just to touch on what I mean by both of those aspects, so the product lines, for starters, set, draft, collectors, usual, bundles, pre-release, jumpstart boosters. This is probably the most irksome thing, because I feel like no one's really addressing what it really means, because this, for the most part, is a 4th booster box per standard set. It's something that they've very apparent that they're going to be including, and it's literally a 4th type. You know, I don't know if they have unique cards. I know that 2022 does, well, not unique, but it has custom art rights. But I'm pretty sure that the Jumpstart boosters are just trash from these packs and then put together. I mean, they've replaced the theme booster packs, but it's still, I mean, you couldn't get a draft box of theme booster packs, but you can of Jumpstart. So again, it's this mentality that they've now bumped it up to there being 4 styles of of booster boxes that you can get for each set, and that's in itself is somewhat overwhelming. And then on the side of rarity, the thing I want to talk about is, you know what, Commander Master is probably the better aspect to look at. So, Phyrexia, all we want. Obviously, with Alice Norn, they just went psychotic. But the majority of cards have how many variations? Let's just pull up something outside of Alice Norn. Alright, sort of Forge and Frontier. That should be a decent one. So that's got normal foil and then the specialty foil, the oil slick rights. So that's already 2. But then you go to a different card, for instance, and you've got the, what is it called? You know, the like weird sparkly foil that I really think is trash when they put some sort of image as the 3D, not Redall, as the holographic image. That's what I'm trying to say. And again, we've got this sort of mentality in Command Masters. They're calling this frame break borderless, and even though they've only got the 3, I would be amiss if they didn't, you know, do Jeweled Lotus, normal, extended art, and then these 2 as well, so 4 variants. And for the majority of cards, it looks like that's the style we're going to get, because again, they are labeling these different. So in fact, this is profile, so they've actually come up with a proper term for this style of borderless versus this style. And this is what I find really irksome about it, is Magic the Gathering has lost its rarity identity. And that's probably the larger topic, so we'll probably move on to that I'll probably split this up in another part. So we'll leave that there, but we'll go back to products. We have March the Machine. It is coming out, when's it coming out? April 21st. So actually, I was wrong, sorry, I said between May and March. Well, right, to some extent. So we're going to hit spoiler season, and then obviously comes out in April, so that's... Phyrexia is... was it start of February or January? Sorry, again, I'm not keeping up to date with any of this, so here's a bit... Yeah, so Dominaria was first, Phyrexia was second, and then we skip March, so that's third, and then we're back to 1 set in April, and this is coming in June. But we're getting, wait, what was this? We're getting a first look, but a debut in 30th. I would assume this means the spoiler season, and then it's releasing in June. So again, it's skip a month, then 2. We skip April, and then there's another set in May. So I think the safe bet is probably 1 every 2 months is what we're looking at from WotC's or Hasbro's outlook. And the worst part of it that I find is this lineup, the product lineup. That's the real issue with the amount of sets that are coming out. Because if they were just, you know, simplistic sets, they had a few decks, that's fine, and then normal, you know, booster variety. I used to love collector booster boxes, set to the same degree, mainly because I like the list. And at some point I did like having, you know, master sets of cards. But I'm getting sick of it. I'm getting very fed up with it. The best example to sort of compare it to is Pokemon. So Pokemon have probably a larger size of a product line per set. You know, they've got their own bundles. They've got the Battle Stadium stuff. Then they have the specific V-Star Pokemon packs. And the reason that works in the sense of Pokemon is because, for one, they use the same core booster packs overall, and That keeps it simplistic for anyone who's buying those products. They go, I want this V-Star Pokemon, and I get a few booster packs. That's great. And then the second thing that makes Pokemon work is the merchandise that comes with it. Bundles. Bundles are probably the best thing to look at. It still comes with a dice. It's pretty good. And you get the bundle box, so it's decent. But I know a lot of people used to collect the artwork that came in it. Actually, I haven't bought one in a while. It might still, the little wrap that goes around the bundle might still be, decent artwork. And then it also had a card list or a booklet inside it. And that was something worth picking up and keeping as memorabilia. The issue is they've cut all that back, and we just have so much product bloat. I mean, it honestly doesn't matter what you buy, because they are so cutthroat in their pricing and everything like that there is no value. This whole idea that if you want to draft, you pick up draft boosters. If you want to collect the set, you pick up set boosters. If you want the primo cards, you get the collector boosters. That doesn't work, because they've just absolutely tanked everything with this design and everything that comes out. Collector boosters should have the higher end, but the fact that everything's foil just completely demolishes the special rarities within any of these sets. And then I honestly, I don't see the point of set boosters outside of the list anymore either. They're just overshadowed by collectors and draft. And then Jumpstart. Awful. Why would you not make a product that involved the draft booster packs to draft in a set? I think I went to Kmart, which would be the equivalent, Walmart, there we go. An American store for anyone who's interested. And there was 3 packs of draft boosters for drafting. But then we get Jumpstart as well. And it's this whole idea of then what's the point of draft? This is essentially just meant to be the simpler format to draft. Anyway. And then Commander decks on top of that. Like Commander decks used to be a pretty decent product. In fact, any of the pre-con decks used to be, well, I wouldn't say, over the top. But they were somewhat worthwhile. They had something of value. And they've come into this situation where if it's too good, everyone wants it. If it's too bad, no one cares. And there's no fine line, there's no mix of it's something fun, some way to get into the game. It is just another sink for a bunch of cards. And that's the big rarity issue that we will get in, is they have just tanked every single rarity slot and just demolished the game's identity in terms of rarity. And I can elaborate that on much better than the product line stuff. What about Lord of the Rings? Let's just look at the product line. So we got gift bundles and bundles. So I assume this will be the one collector booster pack type of deal. Collector, set, draft, pre-release, jumpstart. So there is jumpstart for this again. So again, there's just 4 booster boxes now. That's what jumpstart is. Jumpstart's just a 4th booster box that is just complete trash. A way to just tank common cards and land, everything like that. Like, land is so far removed from being special. Even the oil slick stuff in Phyrexia, it's too numerous. And then we have, starter kit, which is 2 pre-con decks. And I assume we'll still get the 4, are they called Challenger or Pioneer decks? Which are, your standard 60 card play decks. And the idea of Lord of the Rings, this set, is to attract people from this who aren't going to buy the other sets and get into the game through, obviously, this starter deck and jumpstart. But in that case, why do you need draft? If you're trying to engage a new set of players through this product, draft would just overwhelm them, because anyone who knows card games would go, well, don't I buy a draft booster box if I want to play with people? But then what's this jumpstart? And there is no way for someone who is not already in the Magic Gathering community, world, whatever, to understand the products. And that's the big issue. You're giving all these new people that you're trying to suck in a massive headache in trying to understand what products are right for them. They did a whole spiel about the rationale for these sets, and then they've just torn that away because their whole model of the player base that they're trying to reach has shifted dramatically to cycling. to cycling people in and out depending on what set is being created. Like I said, I mean, they got me with that mentality. Last year I just bought Commander Masters and some of the other remaster sets. And the reason for that was because that's what interested me most. That was the product line I liked, and it was fine. And the spill-on effect, that is very, very... I'm lost for words. And the spill-on effect that is just so evident of this new design mentality is the cost basis for these sets, for Commander Master, all these price hikes, is because they are overextending, trying to balance all the scales. Instead of having everyone jump into a set, having a, 50% buy-in rate for each set, they're now trying to get by with, say, 10% per set. And because of that, they have to increase the cost for us as players to buy in, to balance out that dynamic shift in the actual players that are actually picking up the product each launch. And they're just milking it dry, and it is just going to eventually stop. All the momentum they had about making Magic into this billion-dollar IP is just going to fall completely flat because they are just oversaturating the market. And then Commander Masters. Sets, draft, collectors, and more decks. I would not be surprised if they obviously add to this. I mean, the VIP stuff was acceptable. At least we're getting, proper booster pack display with the collectors in this master set. But honestly, they could do so much better of a job if there was just a standard draft boost box. I mean, the whole point of a master set is they're already expensive cards. They're already cards that need reprints and are sought after. They don't need this level of remake. They don't need 6 variations. They just need 1, and that would sell the draft box a lot better. I mean, we saw it in Time Spiral, and then we saw it in Heck Dominaria Remastered. No, Remastered had the other stuff in it. What was the last master set that didn't? The first Double Masters, right? So they could get away with just printing 1 booster box for this style of set. Same with Lord of the Rings. I mean, honestly, you wouldn't need set. You wouldn't need draft. You just do collectors for anyone who wants, the special cards, and Jumpstart for anyone who wants to play. Because I would honestly think that a lot of, say, diehard Magic the Gathering fans don't want these different IPs in their game. And that sort of alleviates draft and set. Especially if, they're coming out back to back. As someone who would follow the game, at least from my opinion, I would go, well, we'll draft March of the Machine and we'll just skip Lord of the Rings. Because it's Lord of the Rings and I don't really care. I've got my normal elves. I don't need the elves from Lord of the Rings. Or, vice versa. Like, the simple fact is, the characterization is almost identical. It's just latching on to the developed brand of Lord of the Rings. And in which case, I'd rather, live with the lore and the world that I've been a part of. But anyway, we'll leave it there for the product line. It's definitely going to continue to just oversaturate the market and cause a ginormous amount of bloat within the players and obviously their wallets. Well, I guess the last thing is, why would you announce them back to back? A roadmap is great, but this mentality of just put everything on the table and overwhelm your community is just a horrible marketing strategy. Instead of having, a quarterly budget for each of these sets, they're doing it all at once. And that's just, to me, just seems so stupid. Anyway, we'll leave it there. We'll talk about rarity, and then actually, I do just want to chuck on Outsiders, because this was the main thing why I want to sort of jump back into things, because Outsiders coming out. I'm not really going, I don't have the time to play, so to speak. I'm still collecting. It's probably the main hobby that I have is TCG cards, and moving away from Magic, going full into Flesh and Blood. It'll be fun. This set looks great, and you know the company's doing it the right way. They're involving the community in spoilers. Just a ever growing list of people behind the game, and the fact that this company is showing that Legendary Studios is showing that they are connected to their player base. Ugh. And also, obviously, there's also the drama behind which way do they go? They make white characters black or black characters white? Either way. It's just, oh, they don't know what they're doing. So there's Commander decks too, because there's the symbol. I assume these are not Commander decks, right? Are they 200 card decks? 2 themed decks? Well, they might be. But I would assume, judging from this, there is a Commander set. Is there... They have the icon. This only has one icon, it looks like. Which I suppose, since it's Commander, they don't need the icons for the Commander decks. But yeah, well, I guess there's probably more to the product line. Anyway, we'll talk about the varieties in the next one.